My dear students, you ask for more clarification about Pythagorean theorem questions where a site has the x unknown multiplication. So there are 4 different situations, actually 5, but let's focus on 4 different situations you can face with. Looking at this example, we know across from 90 degree, it is the longest side, which is the C, also known as hypotenuse. So this part is the hypotenuse, which is C. In this example, this is C. It doesn't matter how you label. A is the one we don't know. It has the X label in it. And this is B. In this situation, we don't know what the A is. Next, with the next situation, we don't know what the C is. C has the letter X in it. With the third situation, we don't know both A and B. Both A and B, they have the X letters in their definition. And the last situation we're going to focus on, one of the sides, A or B, will have the X unknown side, and C will have the X unknown side as well. So there are 4 different situations here. So how do we start with the very first one? Let's write down the Pythagorean theorem, which is C square equals A square plus B square, and write down the C, which is 15 square equals A is 2x square, both of them, plus B is 10 square. So over here, you're going to have you will come up as only 4x square. And I talked about how you can do that. Now, let's move on to the next. Let's write down the Pythagorean theorem. C square equals A square plus B square. And C is 3x square, both of them, equals A is 9 square, one of them, plus B is 12 square, one of them. Over here, you're going to come up with 9x square only, and a number I have talked about how to solve that. And next situation, let's write down C square equals A square plus B square. C over here is 40 square equals, and then we're going to have 3x square, both of them, and then we're going to have 4x square, both of them. And from here, this will come out as 9x square plus that will come out as 16x square. And this is where students get confused most of the time. But for me, it's an easy calculation here. What makes it easy is that 9x square plus 16x square means no different than 9 apples plus 16 apples. Instead of apples, it talks about x square, but it's the same thing. If 9 apples plus 16 apples means 25 apples to you, that will mean clearly 9x square plus 16x square means clearly it is 25x square. So we are just adding the numbers here. What happens if you don't have a number? Because some of the questions you won't have a number. What happens if you get with, let's say, 13x square plus x square? Well, now we are talking about 13 apples plus apple. What is 13 apples plus apple? Of course, it's 14 apples, meaning 14x square. So remember that. And once you have this, you know what to do. I talk about it. And now let's go ahead and talk about the last situation here. Let's write down the Pythagorean theorem first. And C is 13x equals square bolt equals A is 5x square bolt plus 24 square. So how do we do this? What is 13 square? It's 169x square equals, what is 5 square? 5 square means 25. We still have x square here. What is 24 square? Let's calculate that. 24 square is 576. 576. I won't be solving this question, but I like to talk about the way to do this. Now, 576 here is a regular number. It doesn't have x square. So we can combine them and write down 25 plus 575 x squared. This clearly means, in other words, we have here, this is apple, right? We imagine that this is apple. This x square here is apple as well. That poor 576, it doesn't have x square. It is not apple. This is, let's say, orange. It's a different fruit. So what is 5 apples plus 4 oranges? 5 apples plus 4 oranges. You cannot, I said 5, but I wrote down 4. I'm sorry. 5 apples plus 4 oranges. You cannot say here that 5 apples plus 4 oranges are 9 what? 9 apples or 9. You cannot combine the two different things here. It's the same thing, exactly the same thing. What's happening here? X square is one thing, and a number without x square is another thing. You can't put them together. But this 2 has the x square. They are both apples. We can combine them together according to the equation sign. So I'm going to push this 169x square here, and 25x square, I'm going to bring it to the left side, 25x square, but it's going to change. There is no sign in front of it here, meaning it is a plus sign. And when you remove the number from right side to the left side, it will change the sign to negative. We practiced this before. So 576 will be alone here. And the next, this time, we are not adding the apples. We are subtracting the apples. 169 apples minus 25 apples. That will give you 144 apples equals 579. You know what to do from this point on. You got the 144 will go to the other side as division. But these are the 4 situations you will be having with the x unknown side questions in a right triangle. All right, let's practice.